no problem at all. Let's go ahead and get started here. So the first thing I want to do is let's go ahead and get this. I'm going to go ahead and bring in my clip art here. So I have a PNG image of my maracas here. So what I basically want to do is I'm going to create a design where I have Cinco de Mayo. So we'll have the Cinco on top, Mayo on the bottom, and then the maracas in the middle, and it's going to be a full rhinestone design, okay? So first thing we want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and trace my PNG image here so I have everything set for me to be able to create the design. So first thing I want to do is with my PNG files, when I bring them in, obviously the first thing you'll notice is that it's not a file that we can cut or that we'll be able to place the stones in there. So if I came here and I have my PNG image and I go to my Stone Wizard here and I try to add my stones to this particular file, see, nothing happens, okay? So nothing's going to happen because it doesn't have our lines or our vector lines to be able to add those stones to it. So the reason why we're working here in Corel is because Corel is a graphic designing software, so it allows us to do a lot of different things with it. One of the main things is being able to trace a PNG file. So one thing I can do is notice if I click away from my image. So I'm not clicked on the image anymore. Notice at the top here, it just goes back to my basic layout with my workspace settings here. Now, if I go ahead and select my PNG image, look what happens now. Now I have this trace bitmap image, or excuse me, feature here, okay? So there's going to be a drop-down menu that I can click on, and now it's going to give me the option to do a quick trace, center line trace, or outline trace here, okay? So what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and do a low-quality image here, and that's just going to go ahead and trace this particular design here. So I'm just going to go ahead and click OK, drag my image. So I'm just going to go ahead and left-click and drag my image, and now this PNG image I can go ahead and get rid of. So now what I have left over is my vector file. And if I go to my wireframe at the top here, notice how there is my cut lines. So if I wanted to, technically I can go ahead and send this to my cutter and it will cut. Okay, but we want to go ahead and do some different things with it. But now that it's vectorized, let's go ahead and get this out of the way for now. And let's go ahead and get our wording in there. So I know I want to go ahead and use I got some different fonts here I was playing around with earlier. I'll see which ones you guys think is going to work best. Okay, so let's go ahead and type out Cinco. So I have my Cinco typed out, and now most of our rhinestone designs will keep around, you'll see around 9.5, 10 inches wide. Found it's a good size for our rhinestone designs, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and choose, let's see what we have here. So I have this Matador one here, but now the one thing with this one is we're going to have a lot more editing because of these areas right here. So I don't think that was going to work nearly as well as I thought originally we were going to work with. So let's go ahead and use my Bernard MT condensed here, okay? So here is my font that we're going to be using today for our design. So let me go ahead and just make it, again, we're going to go ahead and make it 9.5 inches wide, 9.6, and then work from there, okay? So there is my Cinco. My text is completed. So now all I want to do is I'm going to go back to my Stone Wizard here, and I'm going to go to my Edit tab, okay? So right here in Edit, I can go here, and we have a copy selected section right here in my edit tab, okay? Now, that copy selected, if notice that there we have it set to 0.02, okay? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and hit 1. So I deleted the 0.02, hit 1, and now I'm just going to go ahead and click my down arrow. And notice it just duplicated that particular my text there, okay? So now I have Cinco, but I can go ahead and double-click on my bottom text here, and I'm just going to highlight it. So left-click down and drag over it. And I'm just going to go ahead and type Mayo. So 5th of May here, okay? So there it is. So we have our 2 words that we're going to work with here. And the great thing about it, because I did a copy, it's the same exact size, so I don't have to worry about resizing that particular to make it about the same size, okay? So there it is. It's same height, almost the same width, just because we're using different letters, it's a little bit off. But no problem. That's exactly what we wanted to do with that particular text there, okay? So from here, we can do some different things. But one thing I want to do, just let's go ahead and make this more unique. Okay, so in past webinars, we've shown how to do an art. So how to add a text to an art or to a path, okay? But in this case, let's go ahead and use something different. We're going to go ahead and use our envelope features or envelope tools here in Corel Draw, okay? Now, have any of you guys actually worked with the envelope tools, created your own envelopes, worked with text and enveloping? Okay, so it looks like a lot of you have. Wendy, no? Not yet? Okay, no. So actually some, yes, no. So it looks like actually we got a pretty, it's pretty, okay, Chrissy, a lot, good. Some, okay, perfect. So it's, I would say about 65% of you guys have. So it's a good number. Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and show you some of the different things we can do with our envelope tool here. Wanting to learn. Perfect. This is a perfect webinar for you then, Wendy. If I did, I don't remember. Okay. Okay, Maxine, perfect. So two different things we can do here with the envelope tool. So on our left-hand toolbar here, we have, I believe it's right here, we have our little drop-down menu on the bottom right corner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the bottom, we have our drop shadow tool here, okay? Now, if I click on my right triangle here on the bottom right corner, I can go to envelope, and then that's going to bring up my options up here. So this is my envelope toolbar. Now, I think that's a little bit tough to see what you're working with up there. So I like to work with my Docker. So what I can do is I can go to my effects here. So under effects, you'll notice you have artistic media, blend, contour, envelope, and that's exactly what we want to work with there. Now the great thing about Corel Draw also, you notice here on the right hand side it tells me Control plus F7 is also going to bring out that Docker. So just a little quick trick there. If you're looking for different shortcuts, if I go to, let's just say if I go to File here and I go to New, notice it says Control plus N is going to give me that new. Okay? So just a little quick tip there that you guys can look at to make life easier for you when you're working with these different Dockers here. Okay? So now we notice here we have our envelope Docker ready to work with. Okay? So one thing we want to do is let's go ahead and create a nice little arch for this particular text here. Okay, so to do that, I'm going to go ahead and select my text here that I want to work with. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab the Cinco here, and I'm going to go up to the top here and add new. Okay, so grab the text, add new, and now what we have here is our different features that come with our envelope feature, or excuse me, our envelope tool. So as you can see here, we have our straight line. Now straight line, let's go ahead and zoom in here so you guys can see exactly what they can all do for you. All right, so if I go to my straight line here, let's go new straight line. Notice if I grab my node at the top, it just basically creates an envelope in a straight line. So it creates these straight line segments here. So just a different form for that particular text. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead Control Z as in zebra to go back. And now I'm going to go ahead and select my single arc here. And now look what happens if I grab my node. See that? So now it creates it into an arc rather than just two straight lines here. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back. And now we can choose our double arc here. And just a little bit different. Basically, this is going to create almost an S shape for you. Notice how there's a little bit of a difference here in the sides. That's the big difference between the double arc and the single arc. And then, of course, we got unconstrained here, and that's just going to allow you to do whatever you want with this particular envelope or these nodes to change around the text, all right? So again, cool feature there in Corel Draw to help you do a lot of different things, but definitely with the text, makes a lot of cool looking designs in a matter of no time without having to use your text to path tool, okay? So let's go ahead and go back to our single arc here. And now here's where it comes in handy, okay? This is some other cool features, cool tips and tricks that you can do to make the text even look a lot more professional and a lot better, okay? So what we can do from here is we can either hold Shift. So if I hold my Shift down, look what happens. So if I hold Shift, grab my node at the top. Now notice how both of my lines are being spread equally. See that? So I can drop down, and there it is. So because I held Shift, and only grabbed one of my nodes, I was able to pull that node up, but it also affected my bottom layer here. See that? So let's go ahead and go back, and now I'm going to hold Control instead of my Shift, and I'm going to go up. So there it is. So see what happens if I hold Control and go up? Now we have a nice arc there, okay? Do you guys need me to go over that again? So again, main two we're going to use here is my Shift and Control. In this case, because what I want to do is more of an arc look like this, I'm going to go ahead and use my Control to bring it up, okay? And then I will be using the same exact thing down here for my bottom text as well, except if instead of going up, I'm going to be going down with it so we have a nice, cool looking round design, okay? So where are we at right now? We're at 9.578, which I think is just right where we need to be with that particular text. Now, it is a little bit tall, so we can go here and just shrink it down some if you like. But let's go ahead and just keep it there. I think it's going to work fine just like that, okay? The other thing I want to do with this text right here is, you know, right now I know it's going to look good, but I'm just going to go ahead and make it a little bit thicker just so it stands out a little bit more, okay? Now we can do a couple things here. So you notice up here, let me go ahead and bring my text properties tool up real quick here, because if I go here to my different width size, notice I can change the width size here. But if I go to my wireframe, what you'll notice is the actual lines, my cut lines don't change. It's still going to stay the same, okay? So I'm going to go back to my, I'm going to go ahead and hit Control Z and go back to where I was before. and show you what we're going to do instead to make that font a little bit thicker so that we can work with it. Okay, so what I want to do is we have our TRW Stone Wizard here. Okay, if I go to my Place and Fill tab in my TRW Stone Wizard, you'll notice we have an island fill here. Okay, so we have islands and then we have an island fill here. All right, so let me show you what we can do. So if I go ahead and select one island to the outside, I'm not going to select my Add Stones feature just yet because I want to show you exactly what this island fill is going to do for you. Okay, so from here I can go ahead and set an offset, so I can do 0.03, 0.04, depending on the width of the new font that I want to create, or the new outline I want to create. Okay, from there what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and select my island fill, and notice what happens here. If I go ahead and select my top layer, get my top layer out of there, now we have a nice thicker font here that we can work with. Okay, so if I did want to fill this design in, I could fill it in now because we have more space for those stones to work with as well. Okay, so let's go ahead and get rid of my original layer there. So now we have, and notice how it did increase by almost it did increase there the actual size of the font, or excuse me, of the actual object now increased as well. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing for my bottom layer here. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab the month here, Mayo, and we're gonna go ahead and select my envelope tool. So I'm gonna add new. We're gonna go ahead and select our single arc again, and I'm gonna just zoom in here, grab my bottom node at the bottom here. I'm gonna hold Control, and we're just going to go ahead and drag down, okay? So I can go all the way down here, or we can go just a little bit further up just to make it look a little bit nicer and more bold. So there's the bottom part of my design here. So you guys see where we're getting with this. And now, of course, we're going to end up adding our maracas right here in the middle, but we'll resize that when we get to it, all right? So let me go ahead and move this down just a bit. Let me see exactly what size we're at right now. So 13.18. I mean, if it's going lengthwise, it'll work just because we're going to create a pretty cool looking design out of it. Steve, yes, it does seem a lot easier than the fit text to path. Here's the only issue with it, Steve. Let me show you exactly what happens if I do text to path, okay? This is where text to path is a little bit more convenient because right now, once I did that envelope tool, this is officially now a vector object, okay? So technically, I couldn't go in here and edit this text out, okay? But if I did text to path, if I were to go ahead and grab, let's say I grab my 3-point curve tool here, and let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit. So let me move my wizard out of the way here. So let's just say I created a path here for my text, okay? The big thing with the text to path here, if I did add, let's say we went Cinco, and we changed our font to the Bernard here. Now, if I go to my fit text to path up here and add it to a path, the big difference now is that this part right here, I can still change the text here, you see? I can come here and just type out Mayo and see how I can change it now because it's still in text format. It's still a true type font. Whereas when I do the envelope tool, that's it. It's set in stones. I can't change the words in that particular text there, or excuse me, in this object anymore because it's not a true type font anymore. Okay? Does that make sense, Steve? So if you're sure that, because I know that I want to work, this is exactly what I want to type out, I'm just going to leave it like this. I can go ahead and use my envelope tool, okay? So let's go ahead and get rid of this. And that's a great question, Steve. I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people were wondering the same thing, why didn't I use the fit text to path? So great question there, Steve. All right, so let's go ahead and get this part completed here. So we still got to go ahead and make this one a little bit thicker there. So I'm going to go to my Stone Wizard. And I still have the same settings, so I'm going to go ahead and use the same exact settings I used for the top one so I know it's going to be even. And let's go ahead and just color this in and make this black, just so you guys can see what we're working with now, okay? So there it is. Now notice, I'm going to go ahead and go back real quick so you guys can see one thing here. Notice how I still have this blue contour line around my text here. To get rid of that blue contour line, I'm going to go up to my top here to my color palette, and I'm just going to hit right-click on my X. Okay, same thing. You can also do it if you're not working with the TRW Stone Wizard. We also have it here in the color palette. At the top of our colors, we have the X. Just go ahead and click on that, and it's going to get rid of that contour line for you. Okay. Jack, it looks like the text is also an angle different between the envelope and the text path. Yeah, Jack, and that's a great point as well. The reason why it looks like that, Jack, is because I'm able to change by the nodes. So you notice it has the nodes. It had the nodes on the top. So if I go here and I go to add new, notice how we have all these different nodes here. these are the nodes that allow me to do those different kind of perspective look on the actual text. So it gives me kind of more of a almost like a 3 kind of D look to it, kind of a cool looking effect to it, where the text fit text to path doesn't give you that perspective look to the particular text. Okay. Teresa, is it possible to make 2 words go, 1 word on top and 1 on bottom in 1 step? Teresa, in that case, I would do the fit text to path. All right, so let's go ahead and keep working there. Now, did that make sense there, Jackie, with my nodes? So if I go here, see how I can go here and just adjust my nodes to different to shape my my text different ways. So you can do a lot of different things, but because I'm working with nodes here, it allows me to do a lot of different maneuvers than I would if I'm just doing a fit text to path. Okay, so I'm gonna just go ahead and do Control Z, Control Z, and now we're ready to work again. Okay, so Cinco Mile. Let's go ahead and add some text to these to my words here. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna select the Cinco at the top. All right, so let's go ahead and get this. Let's go ahead and get the stones on our text here, so we can go ahead and get the part of the Macarena here filled in as well. Okay, so let's go at the top, and I'm just gonna go to my Add Stone Selected Path here, and notice what happens. Right now, it doesn't look like it did much. All right, but if I go to my wireframe, it's all filled in there. All I'm going to do right here is I'm going to highlight the top layer. I'm going to hold my shift and hit clear paths. Okay, so look what it did there. It just cleared my paths. Now we have a nice outline of rhinestones here. Okay, now there are some areas here that are touching. So you notice some of my stones are touching here. What I want to do in that case is we have 2 options. Okay, we can either do a mark top layer or mark bottom layer, or we can do a merge overlap. Now I prefer to do the mark top layer here, because it's just going to show me which stones are actually touching, okay? So if I zoom in here, notice every single stone that's red, that means it's touching another stone, all right? So let me go ahead and go back and show you why I'd rather do that. Or I mean, I prefer to do it that way because I know it doesn't have a lot of stones, so if I did a merge overlap, look what happens now. See how there's going to be some areas here that are open, and almost unnecessarily it deletes the stone from there. And I honestly feel like just moving it just a little bit will look better. So I'm going to go ahead and go back. All right, so I think I went one too far back. So let me go ahead and go forward again. Notice on here on my wizard, guys, I also have my back arrow for undo and the one for redo again right here, the green one. Okay, so let's go ahead and highlight my top layer here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do mark top layer. Now I'm going to go ahead and zoom in and just fix this up a little bit here so I can go. Notice all I'm doing is just moving it just an inch over, or excuse me, a centimeter over, and that's it. You know, so it didn't actually have to be deleted, because what the wizard looks for is for the stone to just barely be overlapping or barely be touching the next stone. So if you just do some simple maneuvering or simple editing here, you're going to be able to fix those stones up and not have to worry about going back in there and adding another stone to that area. Okay, so we can go here, make that one black, go ahead and go make this one black, and then zoom in here and see this. Again, it's very minimal, the actual touching, but because if I did that merge overlap, it would have deleted this red stone here, where we didn't really need to delete it. We just needed to move it just a tad bit, okay? So again, we're just going to go in here and just start editing some stones out. So we have this one here. Let's go ahead and make this one black, and we can go ahead and delete this one and can just move this one up here. And see, you don't really have to get too fancy with it. Tanya, the way I'm zooming in is I'm scrolling my mouse up. So I have my little wheel on my mouse, and that allows me to move it up to zoom in and down to zoom out, okay? And those are all settings you can have that you can set with in Corel Draw to be able to do this, all right? And again, because I'm working with the Rhinestone design, I just prefer to do the zoom in with the mouse. Makes it easier for me to go from sections to sections very quickly, okay? So again, right here, just move this one out of the way here just a tad bit, and let's move this one just a tad bit. And now, same here. And we'll just go ahead and move. Actually, looks there's one behind there, so we'll go here, and there we go. So see that just barely moving some stones around is going to fix those issues that we had previously. Let's go and get rid of that one. We'll go here, here, and there it is. So, and notice again, we're not doing much. I can technically come in here and use my magic respace, but all we're doing is just moving it so minimal that the magic respace, we don't have to use it quite yet. Okay, so again, move it just a tad bit there. There it is. We'll go ahead and get rid of this one and just drop this one in there and get rid of my other stones here, okay? Yes, exactly, Steve. Great point. And notice if I zoom in, Steve made a great point there. Every time I wherever I put my mouse is where actually the zooming is going to go, okay? So let's say I zoom out and I aim at this little red dot right here, this red circle. I can zoom in and there it is, okay? So that's going to be where it's going to zoom in with my mouse. All right, so there's that area. We're going to go ahead and zoom out, zoom down here, make this one black. And again, because we did that marked top layer, it allows us to see those those stones that are touching, so it makes it very easy for me to go in here and actually edit the design out. So it looks like I got one stone back there. So there we go. So we're all set. Looks like every stone that was touching is fixed. Let's go ahead and do, now we can go ahead and do the mark top layer, or excuse me, the merge overlap, okay? And the reason for that, let me go ahead and zoom in and see if we have any that are actually overlapping here. Let's see. So it doesn't look like there is any. I think I deleted all the ones that were. But sometimes if I don't go to wireframe, there might be some stones that are actually touching that you won't be able to see because they're actually one on top of the other. So that's why when I'm done actually cleaning up those areas that are red, then I can come back here and then do my merge overlap and now make sure that there's only one layer of stone. So if I get these out of the way, there's only going to be one layer of my rhinestones there. Okay? So now we got the top part done. Let's go ahead and get the bottom part done here. So we're going to go ahead and select the Mayo at the bottom here. And I'm simply going to go ahead and do the same exact thing I did before. Just hit Add Stone, select the path. Same thing, highlight my text, or excuse me, my word at the bottom here. Hold Shift and do Clear Paths. Okay? So there we go. There's my Mayo. Now let's go ahead and zoom in here. Oh, actually, let's go ahead and go back. So what do you guys think was easier? Do you guys think it was easier to do the mark top layer, or do you guys think it would be easier to do a merge overlap? Just from seeing what we just did there. And I think so too. I think most of you guys would think the same thing, mark top layer. And again, because we're just doing the outline here, it's very easy to just go in there and fix and edit those certain points. Whereas if I did the, let me go ahead and show you here. Let me just go ahead and duplicate it. So all I just did is I dragged my text, my object here, and I right-clicked, and now it actually, see how I duplicated it? So what I can do is I'm going to go ahead and do a mark top layer for this one here. So I'm going to do mark top layer. So look at all the stones that are touching. So if I did the merge overlap, look what happens. So I'm going to zoom in on my merge overlap here. Oh, looks like I actually was touching my bottom layer there. So if I go in here and do a merge overlap, see what happens is there's a lot of open spots that I might not want to go in there. I mean, technically I can go in here and do a magic respace, but, you know, honestly, I guarantee you that dot right, the circle right there was barely even touching. See what I mean right there? Barely even touching, but it still deleted that particular circle. Okay, so where in reality, all I need to do, just move it just barely up a little bit, and now it fixed that part of the design there. Okay, so instead of me having to guess where that stone's supposed to go, you know, I can just do it this way and just go in there manually because, again, there's not a lot of stones in this design, so it makes it easy for me to be able to edit those certain spots there. Okay, now if you were working with a full fill, then I would probably do the merge overlap. All right, so let's go in there and fix this part of the design out and make it look nice. So go ahead and change the color there. We'll go ahead and mark this one. And see, it's just, again, minimal changes that we're doing just to edit this particular text out. See, there's one back there, so we're going to get rid of that one. Move that just a bit. And see, once you get the repetition down, guys, it becomes very simple and almost therapeutic in a way where you're able to just do a lot of editing in a matter of no time. And then, of course, I'll show you in a second how we can do the merge, or excuse me, the magic respace to even make it more professional looking. Okay, so let's go in here. Let's go ahead and just separate these two. Make that one black. I think there's one underneath this one, so get rid of that one. And again, just very easy to go in here and edit these points out. All right, let's go ahead and go back in here. Get rid of this one. And there you go. So again, there it is. Steve, so if it's red but you don't see it touching, it's on top. Yeah, and you'll see. Let me see if I can run into another one here. And here, guys, here's where I would probably do the magic respace. So I'm gonna go to this point here, and I'm simply just gonna go ahead and select all my stones here. So I'm gonna select all of these. Oh, so I got deselected it. So I'm holding Shift and just selecting all my stones here. And now what I can do is go to my magic respace and just respace that area up there. And there you go. We're all clean. Keep moving on. So here I will probably just delete all these out of the way here. and then I'm going to go ahead and close this area off here. So there it is. There's my M closed off. Now I'm going to go ahead and go to the A. Now, Steve, remember earlier, Steve, when you don't see when you don't actually see that there's actually a black stone around it touching it, then yes, that just means there's one underneath it. Okay? So, and you can kind of see, if I zoom in, you can kind of see the black kind of showing through. So all you want to do is just go in there and delete that, and you're ready to go. Okay? Same thing with this one. Delete that one, ready to go. Okay? So we can do here, actually, you know what? We can probably add another stone in here if we wanted to. Simply by going here. Let me see if we can fit another one. Yep. So notice if I go to my arrow key here, I can add another stone there in the bottom, hold my shift, clear path, and now that part of the A is complete. Let's go ahead and finish this part off down here at the bottom. So, oh, there's another one here that we can just get rid of. Let's zoom up here to the top and just go ahead and get these separated just a tad bit there. Go ahead and get rid of this one and this one. Actually, let's go ahead and get rid of both of those and just leave that like that. Okay, so there's my A. Let's go ahead and get my Y done here. So, again, just barely touching the black there. So, I'm just going to move it just a tad bit to the left, and now we're ready to go. Same thing with this one here. Move it to the left just a tad bit. Ready to go. And then down here, same thing we've been doing this whole time. Just fix it up just a tad bit to make it look nice. Get rid of my top one here because we have one underneath, and there we go. Okay? So now we're ready. Now we have our Cinco Mile. Now we're going to go ahead and get creative here. Okay? So now we can go ahead and grab our maracas here and do some different things with it. Now, the big thing with this is, let me show you what happens if let me go ahead and shrink it down a bit, just make it fit in that area we want to place the maracas. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and place my maracas here and just make it just a tad bit bigger, so make it exactly the size I want to work with in this area. Okay? So right here, we're looking at 5.5 by 5.6. Okay? So right now, let me go ahead and duplicate this. So I'm going to go to my Edit tab and just right-click, or excuse me, click on my arrow, so we just have two of the same maracas now. Okay? So now, what I can do here, let's go ahead and do one more thing before we do anything, because right now, remember I traced it, but I haven't done anything else to it. So right now, this is just still one object. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and go down here, my Stone Wizard, and hit Ungroup All. Okay? Doesn't look like it did much, right? Let me show you something now. If I go here, notice how I selected this area right here? So this white area right here was actually an object. But because it was all grouped together, you couldn't see that, okay? So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and select this area right here. And because I know these colors are all the same, so the white here, all these are all the same, I'm going to go up here to my Stone Wizard and hit Select All Same Color, okay? So now I can go ahead and drag that area out, okay? So let me go ahead and drag it out, and I'm just going to go make it black so you guys can see what I was talking about. Oh, I guess this one, let me go ahead and get rid of this one. We don't need that yet. So right now, notice how we have two parts of this maraca now. So, I mean, technically, if I wanted to do this, what I could do is I can leave this part here, leave it out, and because I'm only going to use this part of it, I only want to use the outline of the maracas, okay? So now I have two sets of my maracas here. Technically, I can use this as a vector image and make a cool looking vector design with it. So, let me go ahead and open a new page up here. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to go back to this one. I'm going to select my maracas here, the inside. I'm going to hold Control-C. I'm going to go back to my second page here and just hit Control-V as in Victor. Zoom up here, and there's my maracas, okay? So we'll just leave that one there in this page for now. Go ahead and get rid of this. And now let's go ahead and work with my maracas that we were working with here, okay? All right, so we still have them the same size that we needed to fit it in that area. Now, notice what happens. This is where I actually want to duplicate it. So I'm going to go ahead and make two copies of it and show you exactly what we're going to do here to make this design look a lot nicer. So if I were to just select this right now and hit Add Stones to Path, look what happens. So I can go Shift, Clear Paths, okay? See what happens here? All their stones are touching. Doesn't really look like a rhinestone design, okay? Right now, if I send this to the cutter, it would just be a mess. Because what happens is, you see the space between these two lines right here? There's not enough space to be able to fit two rows of stones, but the wizard, it recognizes the lines here, my cut lines here, and it's going to try to add the stones to those lines, okay? So, what I really want to do, instead of that, I want to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and use my island fill here and create almost another outline. So another layer of these maracas, okay? So let's go ahead and go, I think I want to use 0.04. Let me go ahead and see what that's going to do for me, okay? So now look what happened. Now we have a different, now we just create a whole new level, or excuse me, a whole new layer. It's going to be thicker. So if I place my stones, notice here if I put them one to the other, notice how much thicker the one on the left is, my actual cut lines. So if I'm going to add the stones, it's going to add the stones here, and in these lines, perfect, okay? Now the other thing I want to do, let me go ahead and get rid of this. Now, does that make sense, guys, why we went ahead and did the island fill for that particular one here, for this one on the right-hand side? Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what I want to go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this one just because that was just show and tell. I just wanted to show you guys what it can do. So now, what I want to actually do is, because I know these triangles are very small, they're going to come out kind of sloppy. So what I want to do now is I'm going to go ahead and right-click, and I'm just going to do break curve apart, okay? So, again, right-click, break curve apart. Now, look what happens. You can't see anything, right? Doesn't look like anything happened. But if I go to my wireframe, now look at this. The design is still there. But what I want to do is go in here and just kind of grab all my triangles in here and delete them. So I'm going to go in, zoom in, and now I'm going to hold shift. And the big thing is you want to make sure you actually select just the line. So I'm just selecting the line of my triangles here, okay? Okay, so just select those lines here, and then this one. And notice, if you don't see the little note here telling you that that box is selected, then you have not selected that particular item yet, okay? So let's go ahead and pull this. Oh. Okay, let me go ahead and do this one more time here. So select, select, select. I'm going to go ahead and select this one, and then we're going to also select this one. Now, if I go ahead and drag these out, I go ahead and delete them. Now look what happens. Still doesn't seem like much, right? All right, let's go ahead and get rid of these on this side, and we can go ahead. You know what? Actually, let me go ahead and leave it like this so you guys can see exactly what it's going to look like. So now, to go ahead and bring everything back to the front and kind of so you can see what's going on with this particular design, I'm just going to go ahead and right-click again. And now, see where it says Combine? That's all we're going to click is Combine. And there it is. Notice how now my triangles are gone here. Now we have a nice clean image. Now when I have my stones, I know it's going to look a lot nicer and a lot cleaner. Okay? But let's go ahead and see what happens when I do my Add Stone Selected Path. Now, which side do you think it looks better? Now, do you guys think? Let me go ahead and get my paths out of here. So see what happened there? Because we took out those triangles, see how much cleaner the design looks now? And now we can go in there and basically create whatever we wanted in that little area. If you want to add some text, if you want to add a cool look, if you want to create a heart for it, just, you know, now you get creative and add some different things to the maracas to make it look more festive. Whereas this side, see how much editing there's going to be done here? And again, with repetition, you're going to be able to see these things before you even create the design. All right? So let's go ahead and go back. Let me go ahead and go back a few times here and just get rid of my my triangles in this one as well. So again, wireframe, and I'm going to go ahead and select all my triangles here. And again, just because earlier I was just showing you how to do one click at a time, if I just highlight them all, notice how nothing else is highlighted. Now I know I can just go ahead and remove my triangles. Okay? Yes, Steve, exactly. Like 20 in one and 15 in another, exactly. All right, so back to my enhanced view. Now let's go ahead and highlight my design. What's the first thing we want to do when we get back to this page right here, guys? Exactly, combine, perfect. Steve's on top of things today, so let's go ahead and combine. Now we can go ahead and add our stones to this path, and there it is. So now I'm going to go here, clear paths, and again, like Steve said, there's going to be some stones that are touching, so I'm going to go back to my mark top layer, and we're going to go zoom in here, delete this one, get this one out of the way. And again, because we got rid of some of the more detailed areas of the design, we were able to make the editing process a lot easier. So, like Steve said, it goes from about 20 to 15, which because the 15, but we don't have to worry about this area in the middle that was really the big issue with when we first added the stones, when we left the triangles in there, okay? So, going in here, deleting my stones out of there. And now we're going to go ahead and get rid of this one. And see how easy it is to see where my stones that are touching are with that mark top layer. There it is. Make this one red, or excuse me, black. Get rid of this one, and this one will move up here, make black. And then last one is right here. So there it is. Oh, actually, we got a couple more up here. Get that one there. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and zoom in this area right here. Make that one black and get rid of this one. And there it is. So that wasn't that bad, right? That was quite painless there. So let's go ahead and group these all together. So now I'm going to go ahead and group it, and I'm going to go ahead and change the color now because I know that's going to be a whole different color. So let's go ahead and use my topaz here. All right, so topaz, let's go ahead and let me go ahead and just drop these in there, make sure it fits perfect. So there it is. So now we have our maracas in the middle, okay? So we have our maracas in the middle. Now we can do some other cool things to it. What are you guys thinking? Let's go ahead and make the Cinco Mile here. Let's go ahead and make this into let's go ahead and do a cool looking flag look like the Mexican flag, okay? So what I can do now, I can simply go in here and I'm going to highlight just the top part of my Cinco here. And let's go ahead and just make that green, okay? Actually, did I not group these together earlier? Let me go ahead and make sure these are grouped. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and group this. So now I can go ahead and move this just by grabbing my maracas here. I can go ahead and just drag them around my screen without having to worry about my stones being independent and just moving one stone at a time, okay? So now let's go ahead and leave this part right here black, because now what I can do is I can go ahead and go ahead here, and we'll go ahead and make this one purple. So you guys see what we're doing with this now? Where we're going with this? So let's go ahead and get rid of my maracas here. Now, what do you guys think about adding in the middle here? Do you guys want to add some cool looking, let's see if we can maybe add some hearts to it. What do you guys think? Maybe go to my basic shapes, go to the top here, select my heart feature that comes with Corel Draw. And now I'm just simply going to create a heart. Let me just make sure it fits in my area here. So I can go here, double click, fix my heart up, and then single click again, just make it a little bit smaller. All right, so we can see if it's going to fit. See if we can add some stones to that heart. Perfect. Look at that. How nice did that come out? So now let's go ahead and here. Let's go ahead and place that right in my maraca here. And there's my little heart. You can go even make it a little bit nicer just by bringing these sides in here just a little bit, make it look more like a heart. So what do you guys think? Not too bad, right? Pretty simple, pretty easy, just to add a little bit more cuteness to the design. So let's go ahead here and go to my group, and now we can go ahead and bring this one to my other maraca as well. So let me go ahead and just twist this one up just a little bit there. Single click, move it to the middle here, and there we go. So we got our hearts here, we got our maracas here, we got our Cinco de Mayo here. Now we're ready to go, right? Now let's go ahead and make this design really pop, okay? So let me go ahead and grab my green at the top here. Actually, that's going to stay emerald. I believe it's green, white, and red. So we're going to go ahead and grab the black area here. We're going to go ahead and make that white or crystal. And then the bottom here, we're going to go ahead and make that red cyan. So I also want my heart to be red cyan. Perfect. Highlight my design. Now now that the design is completed, this is exactly what the customer is looking for. Maxine. You know the funny thing, Maxine? I spent a long time trying to figure out where we're going to put the Cinco de Mayo. So thank you. I can't believe after all that I almost forgot to put the most important part of it, huh? You want to put it where the hearts are instead? What do you guys think? Okay, so I have a couple different options for you guys. So let's go ahead and choose, let's go ahead and just use one of my fonts I already have created here in, so we'll go ahead and type out 130. I think that's my super small. So my 130 here. Go ahead and try that again. Looks like it needs to be lowercase, so I'm going to go to my toggle cases at the top here, hit OK. There is my lowercase, hit resize design. Looks like I'm having some issues with my TRW 130. So let's go ahead and recreate, let's just create the day that's going to go in the middle. Now, okay, so Maxine wants to go ahead and do the day right underneath the heart. So the D here and then the E here, is that what we want to do, Maxine? Or in between the maracas. See, that's what I was thinking. I was thinking more right around here or right here. What do you guys think? Bottom center. Okay. So right here. Okay. Perfect. So just because I have to resize this, I don't think I have a font that actually is going to fit this. So let's see what I can do. So if I put it right there, let's see what I can do with this. All right. So I have a single line trace tool right here in my TRW Stone Wizard. Okay. what I want to do is just I'm going to simply hit, and I'm going to show you what they both do. So let me go ahead and separate these two and make two of these right here. Nope. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and drag this and make two separate ones, okay? So if I go here and do a left click, it's just going to trace my text, okay? So if I do a left click, it traces it and gives me a line drawing, okay? Now if I go and select this one and I right click on my single line, see what it did? It actually added the stones for me there. Not very good though, not exactly what I needed, but let me see what I can do to fix this area up here. So I can go here, delete this, and go ahead and move this up a little bit. And then, you know what, let's go ahead and move this one up and copy that, okay? So now what I can do is I can go here, and I'm going to select. So I'm going to hold Shift, select my top one, select it again. Oh, what happened there? Not what I needed there. I think I selected a couple too many stones there. So let me just make sure I select the stones I need to be going in my respace. So respace that. Now we're ready to go. So now I can go here, and I can go Group. So see what the difference between my single line left click and single line right click? It allows me to do, so left click for the single line here is just going to create just a trace of it, and then if I actually do a right click, it's actually going to stone it out for me. So let me go ahead and get rid of some of these stones here that are touching. Get rid of this one. All right, so maybe add one here. Or what do you guys think? Let me know. Is that a little bit easier to see there as an E? Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and group these both together. So now I have these both grouped here. Because what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and add it right here, right to the bottom of it. Bottom right. All right, Maxine. We'll go ahead and we'll just go ahead and add it right here in the middle, okay? So let's just go ahead and add it to the middle. Why not? So what I first want to do is I'm going to go ahead and get my actual ruler down just to make sure I have these centered. So let's go ahead and drop that right in there. Just lift it up just a tad bit. All right, so we're just going to go ahead and drop it in there, okay? So there's my Cinco de Mayo. Perfect. Oh, I got you. Okay. All right. So, all right, Maxine. I think we finally got it, right? All right. So now that we got they there, now we're ready to go ahead and create our mock-up to send to our customer. So let's go ahead and go back to my white here. I'm going to go ahead and select it all. Excuse me, the black stones. I'm going to go ahead and select all of those. And I'm just going to go ahead and change those crystal. Now let's go ahead and create our mock-up, okay? So I'm going to highlight my design. I'm going to go to my mock-up features. And let's go ahead and do simulate stones, stone detail, and we'll put this on a proof sheet, okay? So we'll do proof to the front. We'll go to my women's neck, or my women's mock-ups, and we'll do a scoop neck here. So just going to go ahead and select scoop neck. It's going to run through my design. And now notice, because, let's go ahead and go back one, and I'll show you exactly what happened there. So one thing I didn't do, let me go ahead and go back a page, okay? So here's one of the big things that we did not do when I did that, okay? Let me go ahead and go back a few here, because what happened is I did not create my mock-up inside my workspace, okay, which was a big thing there. So what I want to do is, let me go ahead and make my workspace just a bit bigger so we don't get the same result that we just did there, okay? So now, big workspace, now we don't have to worry about that. Let's go ahead and zoom in, select my black stones here, and I'm just going to go ahead and convert those to crystal. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight my design, and we're going to go ahead and do our mock-up. All right, so now we're ready to go. So let me go ahead and zoom in here. Notice, because I went ahead and now it's a little bit bigger than normal. Again, we don't normally make just a tad bit bigger. So let's go ahead and expand that shirt just a bit. And let's go ahead and make this gray so you guys can see the design. So there's my Cinco de Mayo design with our hearts in the middle. If I zoom in, notice how we have our realistic rhinestones in there. So it really gives the customer a realistic look of this particular design here. Now, on the right-hand side, we also have the full design here with my dimensions. If I scroll to the bottom here, it gives me all the information about this particular design. All right? And then, of course, we have our proof sheet at the bottom here. That's going to tell me the price, quote, quantity, shirt color, design, and everything we need to work with, so I can send this to my customer, and they're going to know exactly what they're going to get out of this particular design. Okay? So I don't have to cut it. I don't have to weed it. I don't have to brush my stones in, because I can just send a mock-up. It looks realistic. The customer's going to get to see exactly what the design is going to look like and go from there. All right? Does anybody have any questions at all in what we just did there? If you guys have any questions in the steps that we went through, let me know. I'll be more than happy to go back and show you guys. Add the bling. Oh, add the bling. Okay, yeah, absolutely. So under our mockups, we have a. Let me go ahead and zoom in this side over here. Sandy, pricing for this on the T-shirt, you know, anywhere from $32 to $35, I would say would be a good price for it. You know, it still has. Let's see. It has a good amount of stones in there, 1,300 stones. So, I mean, it's a big design, but you guys see why I didn't actually create it as a fill as well. Just because we're already looking at 1,300 stones here. If I filled in the Cinco here and the Mayo here, it would just be way too many stones, and then the price would be too much, you know. But because we kept it simple and just did the outline of this particular design, we were able to keep it at a 1,300 stones, and then we could sell it at still reasonable price. Yeah, Steve. And that's the biggest thing. Just basically getting in there and doing the repetition part of it, where you're getting in and work with the software and see what the different features do for you. Let me go ahead and show you guys real quick here. We did have a suggestion for the Magic Bling. So Magic Bling, if I go ahead and select Magic Bling and I just do a single left click, it drops a bling star for me. See that? What does that do for you? It just adds a nice little wow factor to the mockup. Now, if I go ahead and hold Shift, and now I left click, see it gives me a smaller star there. So Shift, small star, don't shift, just left click, big star. Okay, Maxine? Perfect. Now, the big thing with the Magic Bling here, you have to deselect it. Otherwise, you're just going to keep creating those bling stars all over your page. No problem. Michelle, is there a chart somewhere to help decide how big a design to make for different size shirts? Now, of course, because this one we're going lengthwise, the lengthwise, you know, you can get away with doing a little bit more than just your typical, because, you know, I mean, right here, it's still not that bad. It's supposed to the full design, and it's supposed to be big and just in your face. It's Cinco Mile, so it's supposed to stand out. But as far as the width, again, with the rhinestone designs, we always keep them just around that 9.5 to 10.1 inch in width there. All right. Again, for the vinyl, of course, you get the ability to resize the design accordingly to the size of the shirt. With the rhinestone, you would have to do a little bit more to resize that particular design. All right. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool design? What do you guys think if, you know, I'll go ahead and post this design for you guys as well, so that way you guys can get it for free on the website. So you guys can go ahead and download it, and obviously, you know, you can tweak it a little bit if you guys want. Do whatever you guys want to make it unique. Go ahead and, you know, Cinco Mile is right on the corner. No problem, guys. Now, remember what we did earlier. We still got about 8 minutes, guys, all right? So what do you guys think? Let's go ahead and get back to our second page here. And now let's go ahead and say, you know, maybe the husband really loved this design. Maybe he wants to match his wife and, you know, maybe have similar designs on them. So what we can do is, let's go ahead, go ahead and here and just group these together. So I'm going to go right click, or I can go right here to my Stone Wizard and group them. So now it's all one object there, okay? So let's go ahead and grab our text. Now what we can do, because we're not working with rhinestones, we can actually work with that Matador font here, which is a pretty cool font. So let's go ahead and do Cinco. Now, obviously, the HCV part is much simpler to do. So let's go ahead and do Cinco here. Now, do you guys remember what you have to do next? Oh, obviously, first choose our font that we want to work with. So there's our Cinco. Now, do you guys remember what we did last time for making up the to create the arc here? Envelope. Yes, exactly. Yep, which I already have open here. So we're just going to go ahead and do add new. But first, let me go ahead and just go back. Actually, Liz, I'm glad you brought that up, because we do have a magic envelope in our wizard. Now, the magic envelope doesn't do, it's not the same thing as this. The magic envelope allows you to add, just you click, basically what it allows you to do is select one word. So I can select a Cinco here, and say let's just say these are our envelopes here. So we have a bunch of envelopes created, and we want to add this word to all my envelopes here, okay? So I can go here, select here, here, and here, and select my text. So I have the text selected and my envelope selected, and then I can do magic envelope, and it's going to add it to those envelopes. So that's what the magic envelope does for you, okay? A little bit different there. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of that. And now, oh, I'm sorry, Maxine. Okay, good. Oh, no problem, Liz. No problem. Yep, and that's the two difference. Now, the magic envelope is something that we created in our software, whereas the envelope tool is allows you to do the actual enveloping of the text and the shapes. Okay. Okay, perfect. So Steve's right on. We're gonna go ahead and do add new here, and let's go ahead and just go. So now, what do you guys want it to do? You guys want to do control and just bring it up again like we did last time? All right, let's just go ahead and make the same design, why don't we? So let's go here and let's go ahead and just drop this in there. And now let's go ahead and get my text for the bottom here and do Mayo. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Now, I didn't duplicate it this time, which I should have. Just make my life easier. But I can still come up here and kind of guesstimate what size we need to make it. So let's go there. Perfect. I'm going to go ahead down here. Now, I mean, you can also leave it like this if you like. What do you guys think? Do you guys like it like this also? Or do you guys like it better where we have the Mayo on the bottom rounded? Leave it? All right, leave it is. Yeah, yeah, definitely, Maxine, thank you. I won't forget to change my workspace this time. So I see a lot of you guys want to leave it like that, so we're going to go ahead and leave it. Now, the one thing is, notice what I did here. I brought out my grid lines, okay, my rulers, because I know the Cinco right there was exactly the size I needed to be. So now, notice how my Mayo is a little bit too long here, okay? So what I can do is I can select the bottom text here. I'm going to go to my Stone Wizard. I'm going to go to my Edit tab, and I'm simply going to hit text spacing, okay? Now, because I did text spacing, I can zoom in here. Notice I have these arrows here now. If I grab my arrow right here on the end and I just bring it in and drag it in just a tad bit, it allows me to just move my letters. You see that? So now I can just go ahead and bring that O just inside my grid line here to make it fit perfect. See that? Not too bad, right? Diana, the rulers. The rulers are right here. You see the grid lines that we have on in our work area here? So this one and this one. All I have to do, if you want to bring the top one down, I'm going to just left click on it and just drag down, okay? Same thing with the ones on the left. If I just left click and drag, we can go ahead and get our grid lines out. Now, if you don't have these grid lines here, at the top here, you guys see where the little eye is here? Right here is our rulers to the left of it. So if I click on that, see how they're gone? If I click on it again, they're back, okay? So that's going to allow me to work in this area. And now I know, because I have snap to objects, now I can also do guidelines. And look what happens now. So every time I get close to that guideline, see what happens there? It snaps right to it. So very easy to work with now. Okay? So now let's go ahead and just change this up. So what we can do is we can simply go here. I think we can probably go, let's go ahead and go vinyl. We can go grass, green grass. We can go here with our white. And then let's go ahead and make this our nice red. And there it is. So we have Cinco de Mayo. Oh, and we forgot to put the again. So let's go ahead and just drop that right in there. So we can go ahead and drop this in. So we can do different things. Because it's vinyl, we can do different things with it. But what do you guys think? Just want to drop it in there and kind of keep it the same style. And then we'll just make that one red as well. I didn't think. Yep. So I did remember that time. All right. So there's our design. Now look what happens. If I go to my wireframe, everything is in there. All these my cut lines are in there. So very easy. Now I can go ahead and get rid of my guidelines here. And let's go back to my enhanced view. So pretty quick, pretty cool looking design there for the guys t-shirt. Let's go back to my mockups. I can go. Let's go ahead and. Oh, it's not Baseball Mom anymore. So TRW Cinco de Mayo. Yeah, Maxine, actually, because I have it, because it's already in my workspace here, notice how it's still inside my workspace. It should be fine now. I don't have to actually change the actual dimensions there. The only time I'll ever have an issue if it's hanging over the workspace, if it's not inside this box right here, okay? So from here, we're ready to go. Let's go to my men's t-shirt or my men's shirts. We're about 9.9 inches wide. If I want to make it a little bit smaller, I can. Let's go ahead and make that a little bit smaller. Now let's just go ahead and select our men's shirt here, and it's going to run through our stuff. Oh, you know what? I have a couple things selected here that we don't want selected. All right, so we're going to go here, and it looks like I have some things in my space selected that is not working out for me. It looks like I have to fix up my mock-up, but again, because we did the mock-up, we put this straight right on that t-shirt, and it's going to make that design look really cool. And now what we can do is have a matching. Now you have the white shirt. So let me go ahead and get this in here. Move this to the right a little bit. So now there we go. Now we have both of our designs created. Let's go ahead and put that on a black background. I'll go to the back, and there it is. So what do you guys think? We got our guy, his and hers Sure, it's created. Now again, because we got left the mile like this, you can also do that with the rhinestone part on the bottom as well. All right. So what do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh?